last night. Rockies down 4-3 in the ninth inning. Not a problem. Corey Dickerson hit Fort Lupton with that baseball. And then in the 13th inning, he was tired. He wanted to go home and go to sleep. Base hit right field. His buddy Nolan Arenado scores. Rockies win 5-4. What a combination. Dickerson now getting ready to go this afternoon. That was last night, he's saying. And with that, we welcome you to a Sunday afternoon, beautiful Sunday afternoon at the ballpark at 20th and Blake. The Rockies and Miami Marlins concluding a weekend set and a season series set. Good afternoon, everybody. Glad, of course, that you are with us. And with my partner, George Frazier, I got to punch him a little bit, wake him up a little bit. I'm Drew Goodman. Thank you. You as well. Last night was something else. The Rockies persevered. Corey Dickerson in the middle of the storm. And Nolan Arenado, what is he getting, about 6,000 the last week or so?
It's been good. The last 8 ball games at home for Nolan have been outstanding the way he's swung the bat. It hadn't just been singles. It's been a lot of doubles. And Corey Dickerson, kind of the same thing. He continues to be in the top 3 or 4 for August of RBIs in the National League right now. Nolan Arenado, what a double show he's put on. Along with a couple of those home runs, 3 doubles, 4 RBIs. He's hit 500 on this homestand. He has crushed the baseball. Last night, I thought that ball got out of here. And then, of course, Corey Dickerson and what he has been able to accomplish the whole month of August. It hasn't just been the last couple of days, folks. It's been the month of August, and last night, he hit it. I mean, they built a rooftop. He almost hit it on the rooftop. Then he comes up with a big base hit to right field. That's going to score Nolan Arenado. You just looked at it. That was the game winner. And I don't care what the record is, folks. That doesn't get old. That's exciting. These 2 young players together in the middle of this field, surrounded by their teammates. And it's awfully nice to be able to do that after a ball game versus hang your head and head back to the locker room.
What sophomore junk when it sophomore jinx? Thank you. When it comes to Nolan Arenado and Corey Dickerson, they've been special.
They have been special, Drew. And I think they're guys that you look at. You know, when Corey came out of spring training, we kept 6 outfielders. Are they going to be able to play? Can you get their time? Injuries opened up a door, and he took advantage of it.
No question. Well, when we come back, we'll talk about Christian Bergman. He's been out for a while with a left hand fracture. He'll get back to the business of pitching. We'll talk about Christian when we return.
here at Coors Field. Well, the Rockies had to make another roster move today. Christian Bergman is the starting pitcher. In order to activate him, they had to put Michael Kadire on the disabled list. Now, Kadire said that he was going to be playing by today. He has the hamstring injury. It just didn't get any better, and he was the most likely candidate. The guy that really couldn't do anything was limited to go on the DL. He is on the DL. Bergman is activated, and to get Bergman onto the 40-man roster, Carr goes on the 60-day DL. There's Michael Kadire. He is here. He will travel with the team, and of course he'll be back in September, approximately September the 8th, if everything goes well. Now, Christian Bergman is making his first start after missing 51 games. He fractured his left hand. A ball was hit back to the mound. That's his glove hand, and that fracture kept him from actually catching a ball. Obviously, his right arm was fine. He made 5 rehab starts at AA and at AAA. Remember, this guy was a 24th pick in the 2010 draft, so he has had a long and winding road to the bigs, and he pitched well enough to get another shot from Walt Weiss and this Rockies club, and that's because Walt Weiss says that Bergman has a feel for pitching. The Rockies really need Christian Bergman to have a good start today because of last night's extra inning game. In the 13 innings, the bullpen did yeoman's work. 8 men came out of the pen. They threw 7 1/3 innings, allowed but 1 run, 5 hits, 1 walk, and struck out 7. But everybody was used last night, so the hope is Christian Bergman, coming back off of the DL, will be healthy enough and have some stamina that he can get into this game and hopefully into the 6th, 7th, or later innings. That would be the best case scenario. You've heard it before. It's how this season has gone for the Rockies. Guys going on the DL, coming off, and hoping to keep that bullpen fresh. We'll see if that happens here this afternoon as the Rockies get ready to take on the Marlins. Can they win this series and finish them off? We'll find out next. First pitch comes your way this Sunday afternoon here on Brew Sports.
Is brought to you by your neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By Inova Cancer Care, taking a novel approach to cancer care. Learn more about prostate cancer treatment at InovaCC.com. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at Southwest.com. Gorgeous afternoon at Sloan's Lake.
Look how fast the water's moving. Huh? I like it.
They always speed up the shot. I've never understood that. Christian Bergman running out to the mound. He'll pick up a baseball, and that'll be the first man he'll face. Christian Yelich, the outstanding young left fielder for the Marlins. He's hitting .512 over his last 10 ball games. Here's the rest of Mike Redmond's lineup this afternoon. Jeff Baker, who had 3 hits and a pair of doubles on Friday night, is back in there. Giancarlo Stanton, I think you've heard of him. He'll bat 3rd. Casey McGee, Marcell Ozuna's had a big series. Garrett Jones will bat 6th. Danny Echeverria, Jeff Mathis doing the catching, and the left-hander Brad Hand is on the hill for Miami, and he'll bat 9th naturally. Let's take a look at some more of the figures on Christian Bergman, a 24th round pick in 2010, and they're brought to you by Inova Cancer Care. Treat prostate cancer in only 5 sessions. Visit InovaCC.com.
4-4, 75 innings, just 14 walks at the AAA level, 2 walks at the big league level. He will throw strikes. He's going to make you put the ball to play. You've got to be able to catch the baseball. First 2 starts in the big leagues, 12 innings, 5 earned runs. The league hit .280. And last start, not so good. 9 hits, 7 runs, looking to rebound. I know he's got to be excited to be back on a big league mound after all of the rehab assignments that he did at the minor league level between Tulsa and Colorado Springs.
So here we go on a perfect afternoon for baseball. 77 degrees game time temperature. And Yelich takes high ball 1. Yelich hitting .282 against righties, and that's a ball. Hitting .301 against lefties. He was 0 for 5 last night. It snapped a 10-game hitting streak. He's just 22, and he made his big league debut at Coors Field last year. There's mom and dad here, and he had a couple hits in that debut. He's still filling out, George. I mean, he looks like a high school kid almost, doesn't he?
He's built like a leadoff guy. He's got some speed. He's going to slap the baseball. He's going to do some things with it that normally, you know, you look at it. This type of guy is somebody that is that you can grow around. You know, that's the thing with Miami with their payroll. They try to get lucky with young pitchers. They try to get lucky with young hitters. They didn't keep him there for that 4 or 5 years, and if it's a keeper, they obviously unload the bank. If not, you're off to somewhere else.
3-2 on Yelich, and that's not how you want to start. That's been all too familiar in this series. Walks, 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 walks. Well, let's go back to when Christian got hurt.
Atlanta Braves were on there. I'm sorry, excuse me. It was the Milwaukee Brewers. Ball hit right back at him. You could see where the ball caught him. Knocked the glove completely off. Was not able to go forward after that. And unfortunately, it took time for the hand to heal. And here he is, back on the hill.
Jeff Baker takes a strike. Saw Baker pinch hit last night. Three for 5 on Friday night. Mentioned he had a pair of doubles. He's always hit well against the Rockies after coming up as a Colorado Rocky. .357 average. Baker originally a 4th round pick out of Clemson of Colorado, and they knew he could hit. He battled a lot of wrist injuries, if you recall, in the minor leagues with Colorado. He had some big hits in a Colorado uniform, especially in the postseason run. Remember 07? One runner going, fouled off. Yelich will come back, 1-2. Bake over his last 25 games hitting .375. Earlier this summer he had an 11-game hitting streak, which was a career best. This is in the air to shallow right. Blackman will get there. 1 out. And Stanton will come up. Let's take a look at the Rockies with the gloves. Brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit responsiblebynature.com today to learn more. Dickerson, Stubbs in center. Blackman is in right. Arenado committed an error last night, his 13th. Rutledge at short. LeMahieu is at second. Matt McBride playing first base. Michael McHenry is behind the plate. You're saying, wait a second. As you look at Matt McBride, wait a second. Did McHenry catch all 13 innings last night? He did. Willeen Rosario has a sore wrist. And that's why Mac is back in the attack. One 1-0 on Stanton. That fastball zipped in there at 89, but it's south of the knees. It's 2-0 on Giancarlo. Stanton last night struck out 4 times. He also knocked in a run, though. And it's 3-0. Stanton yesterday had a walk, a double that drove in a run, and a single. And the 4 times he was retired were all on strikeouts. That's a strike. 3-1. He's one of those guys that for whatever reason, George, he doesn't hit as well, at least this year, in day games versus night games.
Well, a lot of times it's the glare. You know, guys just don't see the ball out of the hand if you got a guy with a deceptive motion. I would also like to go back, and I know that it's a blanket statistic. Day games. Who'd you face in those day games? Was it Clayton Kershaw? Was it Madison Bumgarner? You know, who did you face? Was it Jorge De La Rosa? Tell me who those guys are. Well, not the way you wanted to get things going here. A couple of walks. McGee, a very good fastball hitter, but a candidate to hit into a double play.
You think it almost becomes an epidemic sometimes when guys aren't throwing strikes, George? Where
yeah, it does. I mean, you start to press. I think first time back, Christian probably feeling a little bit of the jitters. You know, trying to be too fine with your pitches, just missing off the plate. McGee with 25 double plays he's hit into this year.
Two strikes on McGee.
Typically in this situation, last fastball at 91. In this situation, he likes to go to the cutter down and away from him, see if they can get him to chase it. There's the cutter off the plate. The pitch usage for Bergman. The one pitch he has increased this year over the last couple of years has been the changeup. But the out pitch is still the fastball. Try to get it on the ground ball. Averaged almost 90 with it.
1-2. Gets pop up. Infield fly rule. DJ's could make the catch.
Well, let's take a look at the arsenal of Christian Bergman as he has made 100 starts at the minor league level. 37 and 27 overall. The fastball 89, nearly 90. You see the slider at the 84, good separation there, and at 82 miles an hour with the changeup, which he will use, but primarily against left-handers. Curveball usage comes like front-end pitch curveball for a strike. Get me over pitch, try to get him out on that front foot.
I'll bring up Marcell Ozuna. That's a strike. We're mentioning Stanton and the disparity between day games and night games, and here they are specifically. At night, he's hitting .320 with 24 home runs. Now, he played more night games, so you should have more home runs, more damage done when you play more games there. But during the day, he's hitting just .252. It's pretty significant disparity. No, a lot of guys, George, who were good hitters who were the opposite. Just felt like everything was crystal clear in the daylight.
Exactly. They call it night vision. The guys can't see the ball at night. Great daytime players, but bad nighttime players. Now the first two outs Bergman was able to get. Osuna maybe not so easy, even though he's ahead in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. In 6 career games versus the Rockies, he's 18 for 25.
And this is popped up. Playable for Rutledge, if not Dickerson. Rutledge moves back. He makes the play. And Christian Bergman, despite a couple of walks, gets out of it. We'll go to the bottom of the first. See the Rockies with the bats. Have an opportunity to take this series, which would be the first time they've beaten the Marlins in a home series since 2011 at Coors Field. Charlie Blackmon at 290 will lead things off. He's 8 for 19 against Marlins pitching this year. Here's the rest of the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss. Drew Stubbs will bat second. He's torn the cover off the ball against lefties. Arenado, we talked about how hot he is. Dickerson, 4 hits last night, 6 at bats, tied it up and won it. Pretty good now. Michael McHenry, Matt McBride, Rutledge, LeMahieu, and Bergman. Left-hander Brad Hand is on the hill, and his first pitch misses. 24-year-old, native of Minneapolis, Minnesota. That'll please our producer, Tavis Strand, who's also from Minneapolis. That ball's pulled foul. 1-1. Let's take a look at some more numbers brought to you by Anova Cancer Care. Treat prostate cancer in only 5 sessions. Visit AnovaCC.com.
And I want to find out what this young man can do as a starter. He's making his 12th start now out of 27 appearances, 2-5 overall record, 79 2/3 since the break. 2-3, 379. The league's hit 215 against him. He had to go to the bullpen when Dan Jennings was hurt. Jennings has made 2 rehab assignments in the last couple of weeks.
A base hit for Charlie. Blackmon will lead off knock. He had 3 hits in the 13-inning game yesterday. Here the Marlins defensively, brought to you by Excel Energy. Visit ResponsibleByNature.com to learn more. Yelich, Ozuna, and Stanton, talented young outfield. 22, 23, 24 years of age, left to right in that outfield. Echeverria has made 12 errors. He could pick it. Garrett Jones has made 12. That's a high number at first base. Jeff Mathis doing the catching. Probably a little better defensively than the starting catcher, Jared Saltalamacchia. A little more bat with Saltalamacchia. Stubbs fouls it off.
What a homestand. We talked an awful lot about Nolan Arenado and Corey Dickerson, what they have done in this homestand. Stubbs 11 for 29, 379 average, with a couple of home runs and 7 RBIs. He's had a nice 8 days.
And this is fouled off. Yeah, Stubbs this year against lefties hitting .365. That'll work. That's a really good average. On the ground is short. There's one on to first. Safe. Man, you have to be lightning fast to beat out a one-hopper right at the shortstop, hit with authority, and he's 12 feet from the bag when he fields it. Stubbs from the right side still beat the return throw.
Well, it tells you something about Drew Stubbs, too. A guy that can really get up the line but plays the game the right way. He doesn't like hitting into double plays. You don't want that on there. He's going to get there just ahead of the baseball. Good call. Todd Tishner with the call.
I can't tell you how big that is. It saves the possibility of the Rockies still having a productive inning. Now, listen, 2 outs, nobody on. Can you still score? Sure. But the percentages drop considerably. Now there's 1 out and a man on first, and you still feel like there's some possibilities here with Arenado at the plate. Here's some of the numbers on Nolan during the homestand. 17 out of 34. That'll work. Couple home runs, triple, doubles galore, 4 ribbies, 8 runs scored. He's 4th in the National League in hitting in the month of August. He has 5 multi-hit games in his last 7 outings. And this ball's well hit left center field and deep and gone. 2-run home run, Nolan Arenado. No cooling off for him.
Well, Brad Hand tried to make the pitch down and in on Nolan Arenado, which is a dangerous area to go to on this young right-handed hitter. One more look at it, and Arenado hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark, and all they could do is watch it. The Ellerson Ozuna shut the flight in the daytime of this baseball. 2-0 Rockies.
The other piece of that dynamic duo from last night, Corey Dickerson. Curveball is in there for a strike. 0-1.
Boy, I like to see that stuff slow motion, trying to throw that slider down and in. Nolan with the head down all the way through the baseball. How many times have you heard hitting instructors say hit down through the baseball? Did a pretty good job of it here. This ball's hit hard by Dickerson. Stanton will get under it and make the play.
Corey retired, 2 outs, and that'll bring up McHenry hitting in the 5-hole today. Michael again caught all 13 innings last night, 0 for 4 and a walk. He was going to be the backup hero last night, George, because he was on deck when Dickerson got the base hit to drive in Arenado and end it 13. That leveled the Rockies at 6-6 in extra innings this year. Marlins now 9-10.
Rockies 21-5 when scoring first at home.
McHenry drives it deep left field. This one's going to fly. 15 rows deep, and it's 3-0. McHenry's 5th of the year. Gotta love this start.
Don't play 13 every day and show up. How nice is that? 5 home runs, just 15 RBIs, but he's hitting 340 coming into this. It will go up again. McHenry now 346. You know what? That's like the second time he's tried to throw that cutter down and in, and it just hadn't worked too well for him. They're not on the home run, and now this one 20 rows up down the left field line.
Yeah, he knew it. He went into the jog right away. Matt McBride. Last time we saw McBride, he hit a grand slam. 2-out grand slam in the 6th inning to give the Rockies a 5-2 lead against the Royals on Wednesday. And that's the score they would win by. There's nothing nicer as a catcher than going through the process of putting your shin guards, getting all your stuff on after you've really had a big hit.
Well, yeah. Catching, short, second, grab your glove, get the other one off, high fives from everybody. You better believe it. And that's the wonderful feeling about winning the night before and coming to the park the next day. I mean, your attitude is so much better.
McHenry hitting .415 since the All-Star break. 4 home runs as well. 3-0 on McBride, 4-0 on McBride, and then you got to go.
So, Doug, has any hitter hit over 400 for a half a season at the end of the season with 100 or more at-bats?
So why do you do this? He just got back. Leave him alone.
No, I mean, I want to test him a little bit. That's all.
Josh Rutledge will come out, but first Chuck Hernandez is going to walk to the mound.
Chuck having a visit with this young lefty. I mean, it is Coors Field. That's about all you can tell him. You made a couple of mistakes that made you pay for it. There's nothing you can do about it, but the walks are free. Yeah, they should have turned the double play. I mean, this is where you become the counselor, you know, and make sure he's okay. Because Brad Penny got skipped in the start to give Hand the opportunity because they feel Dan Jennings is close to coming back. So, I mean, you know, Chuck Hernandez and his staff made this decision to go with the young lefty who's got a very good arm. And see if he can handle it. He pitched out of the bullpen for 14 outings and had pitched well there.
What I tell you, that was a big play that Stubbs was able to beat the return throw.
You talked about it. I mean, scoring with a couple outs, 1 out, it doesn't matter. You extend the inning with men on base and your hitters in the middle of your order coming up.
One strike pitch on Rutledge. This is about the time of the ball game. We remind you that you can tweet your questions using the hashtag Toyota Talk, and we'll answer them during the 5th inning. Toyota Talk.
So here you go, Drew.
Yeah. 0-2 on Rutledge.
Ted Williams in '57 hit .453
in the second half.
Ichiro in '04 hit .429. Gwynn at '94 hit .423. Brett hit .421 in '80. And Babe Phelps in 1936 hit .416. There you go.
Williams almost hit 500 in the second half.
Larry Walker hit .402 in 1998 in the second half. Doug was still scrolling down the computer.
This is going to be a tough chance for McGee. Safe there. The infield hit for Rutledge. Speed never has a bad day, as they say.
Well, if you've heard a coach say it 100 times, the effort doesn't take a day off. If you're playing hard, good things can happen for you. And Rutledge comes up with a hit here. You take all this, kind of levels out all those line drives. Just a softly hit ball to McGee. The snap throw over, and Rutledge just runs through the bag and beats it.
Mayhew can get done here.
See, a lot of times when your fastball or your cutter gets hit hard, you automatically go back to that breaking ball versus staying aggressive with the fastball.
Ball and a strike. Back up the middle and hand. Got leather on it, and that'll end the inning. Rockies with a very good first frame. They got a 2-run home run from Nolan Arenado, and then 2 doors down, they got a solo shot from Michael McHenry. 3-0 Colorado through 1 frame.
Over the Marlins, Christian Bergman back off the DL making a start. Walt Weiss continually talks about how he has a feel for pitching. So I asked the skipper to explain what that feel is.
Having the ability to pitch off the barrel, command the ball, command strikes and balls. He's a guy that's I think beyond his years and his experience level when it comes to those things.
So that's what he means. And George, I'll address you with this. He also talked about him being good with sequences, and maybe you can explain that to the fans about how that works with pitching and sequences.
Well, you don't want to get in a situation where you're everything's fastball, everything's curveball, a first pitch fastball, second pitch curveball. You want to have the ability to be able to throw a breaking ball behind the counts. All of those things play for a guy that doesn't throw extremely hard but throws strikes. You want to keep a hitter guessing. Mark, where are you?
It's behind the juniper bush in
That's
dead
easy.
center field.
Is
Bergman
he?
makes the catch.
Mark, are you behind the juniper bush out in center field?
No, I'm down the first base line. Why?
Where?
Just, come up from McBride. I can see you. George, look down at first base.
Well, you're not on the field playing first.
No,
I
I'm
just
not on
wonder.
the field.
Oh, there
I'm
you are.
Yeah, I'm right here. But I
Okay.
can see you up there.
You look really good in that tie.
Mark, you're
Classic.
wandering around like you're in a hexagon maze.
I just had a compliment. Someone said to me, I'm doing this color a favor. You can use that one, George, if you want.
Okay, I will.
I know you like it.
I know. Yeah, it's nice. You look good today.
It's my Sunday best. Do you need something behind these junipers?
Yeah, would you go out and check for me, please?
Hey, Mark, I like the story, very, very seriously. I like the story you did today on fish.
Yeah, he's an interesting character. Pitching today, a guy that loves the game.
Well, he's 62, which means they could have trotted Frazier out there because Frazier,
exactly.
Fish called Frazier the kid.
Right. He called me this morning. He said, I'm not going to be at Faith Day, so if you wanted to talk to me, because I'm going to pitch today.
Echeverria hitting it around where Mark Stout is, but
ooh, wow. Charlie never saw
that.
Nope, never saw the baseball.
Heading to third is Echeverria. Give him credit. He never stopped running. He never assumed the ball would be caught. And you have to score that at triple. Charlie obviously lost it in the sun.
Well, there's no question this ball got up into the air, and it's a very high sky, meaning that it gets up into that light blue sky, difficult to track the baseball. Charlie looked up not knowing at all where that ball was, lucky to find it there.
Tell you what, Charlie's beard looks like a juniper bush now, huh? That's fair down the right field line. That'll get the run home. And Mathis heading to second. Now Mathis thinking about a triple for a moment.
Better
Hold
put
on,
the brakes on,
catcher.
11 RBIs now. He's only hitting 197. That ball a warm burner down the right field line. Look and see what this pitch was. Looked to appear to be a cutter outside half. Then he just shoots it, but a little bit too much of the plate, a little bit elevated. Got late on it. McBride playing off the line as he should be with a right-handed hitter up.
Brad Hand at the plate. Now McHenry calls a timeout. Really should have 2 outs and a runner at second base. Just a bad break on the ball in the sun.
But that's where you got to make some pitches and get out of that situation. Nobody out. I just think Hand. I mean, he's a decent hitter, but probably going to be a bunny. I guess not.
Well, I don't think there's an advantage here to bunting.
Yeah, why not? When you're hitting 0-52, you got to do what you can do.
Well, he's already in scoring position.
I know, but he's 0-52. Wild pitch. There are other ways you can score from third than others just a base hit.
I know, I understand that, but the worst thing that happens is he punches out. You still have a runner at second base. I let him swing the bat against a guy who's not overpowering. Maybe he throws a base hit out there. I understand Redmond's thinking. This ball's down the left field line, pretty well hit, get foul. That is a foul ball barely.
And I mean barely.
Wow, that you feel like you're on the red clay of Roland Garros.
Well,
you
Brett Butler,
mark.
Brett Butler looked in the dugout at Redmond, and he's going to have Redmond. They're checking it out, and Redmond's still thinking about coming out on that step before the hitter gets in. He's going to have to do it. I couldn't really tell from that look at it. Drew, give you a look on that side. Ooh. And then Redmond found out it was time to come back.
It did not hit chalk. You can't be any closer, though. Short. 2 outs. Christian Yelich will come up with the 2 outs, and Mathis at second base. A reminder, Subaru brings you the manager's challenge. So if Redmond had challenged that, or Walt challenges a call later on, it's brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Yelich walked his first time up. In fact, Bergman walked 2 in the first inning, but did not give up any runs. This ball sharply hit, and Mathis around third is going to score. So Yelich makes it a 3-2 game. And things have tightened up considerably here at the top of the second after the Rockies' 3-run first.
Well, again, you mentioned the fly ball to right. Charlie lost it in the sun. That didn't help matters. Ends up getting a triple, then a double that just swarmed right down the right field line. And it's a pretty nice piece of hitting here by Yelich. He took a ball that was out away from him and just inside out the ball to the left side of the infield. That'll score Mathis, and it is a 3-2 ball game. Got to really control the running game here too with Yelich at first base. 16 stolen bases. He's been caught 4 times.
Want to know on Jeff Baker. 45 ribbies now for Yelich at first. Baker hits his ball well to center field. Stubbs near the warning track will make the catch to end the inning. Triple double, single in the inning, 2 runs for Miami. It's 3-2 Colorado. As they come to the plate in the bottom of the second inning, 9-1-2. Who wants tacos? Remember, when the Rockies do score 7 in a game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day. Do it between 4 and 6 in the afternoon, and you'll receive your taco special, your Rockies taco special, Lip Moss at Taco Bell. 1 strike on Christian Bergman. It on the ground to Jeff Baker at second. Rockies used the entire bullpen yesterday in going 13 innings.
Good day for the bullpen. 6 in the third, 5 hits, a run. They didn't walk a batter, and they struck out 10.
It was a good day for the bullpen, and it was a much needed good day for the bullpen. Charlie Blackmon lined a single to right. 1 inning ago. Rockies saw Brad Hand opening day through 2 innings of relief after Jose Fernandez. 2 innings of scoreless relief. Originally a 2nd-round pick back in 2008. He was the Minnesota Gatorade Player of the Year his senior year in high school. Chaska High School. Tavis clued us in. That was like a one-light town when he was growing up. It was Tavis, you know, that's about 50 years ago. So now it's a booming metropolis of Chaska.
So how big is this town?
I mean, it's got 2 lights now.
Doug?
Do you count the light that blinks in town, or does it have to be a full-fledged? That doesn't count.
That's just a 4-way stop. There is exactly, supposedly, 25,000 people, but I think I'm going to go with Doug of 23,770.
That's a good-sized town.
Because Doug checked the hospital to make sure there hadn't been any births this morning to add to the population.
Doug will never leave a stone unturned, will he?
No.
He's going to be thorough. Fouled off. How many people in Springfield now, Missouri?
Oh, a lot because of Branson. Branson's huge. Branson and Nixon, all those, it's all kind of connected now. There's probably close to 600,000, 500.
Where's the statue?
Right now. Huh?
Where's the statue?
Of who?
You. Get into Springfield.
It's in the backyard of my mom's house. It's a chopped down oak tree. Oh, boy.
Who put circa 1966? That was a misprint. This is circa 1956.
I actually born in 54. I was about 12 years old, I guess. And downtown Kiwanis was who we played. Everybody played for the Kiwanis, though. You know, everybody.
Where's that glove?
Huh?
Where's
I wish
that glove?
Let me tell you, I wish I had that glove. I remember when I turned 16, my dad bought me a Wilson A2000. And I thought that was like the end of the world, man. I was so excited. I had that thing all the way through college, all the way through the first 3 or 4 seasons of pro ball. When we moved in spring training from St. Louis from Al Lang over to Al Lang, somebody took it. Couldn't believe I lost it. Yeah, I was so upset. That was some crazy times.
A lot of guys still use the A2000.
Oh yeah, absolutely they do.
Charlie's gone, 2 outs. What was the name of that team?
The downtown Kiwanis. Everybody was the downtown Kiwanis. I mean, there wasn't any, you know, like, of any certain name. There's more than that, Doug. Just Springfield, he's saying 162,000, but you got a lot.
You're talking about surrounding.
Well, you got Nixon, Republic, and then you go into Branson and Sykeston and all those places.
And how long a drive is it from Tulsa? 3 hours?
183 miles, 2 hours and 15 minutes if my son, the cop, rides with me.
Naturally. And if he doesn't, and your son's friends, the cops, are chasing you.
Doug was laughing at me today because I was talking to my mother on the phone. She didn't have her hearing aid in. She's 96. I was trying to tell her that my wife and daughter were going to stop and say hi today on their way to Illinois, and I don't know if she understood or not, but they did stop by and she was happy. She's having fun today. She worked in the garden this morning.
She on the tractor this morning?
No tractor. She was in the golf cart. She was out picking up stuff.
2-1 on Stubbs. Good swing there. 2-2. If you decided, because we're going to New York here in a couple weeks, and then St.
Well,
Louis,
I'm trying to get some transportation, get things lined out for her. You know, she's not too good on wanting to leave the house too much.
Your sister Linda.
Bingo on Monday.
Your sister Linda could take her to your sister Judy's house, and then you got the deal done.
Then it's done. Right.
Ooh, good pitch. Strike 3 on Stubbs. So 1-2-3 second inning for Brad Hand. The Rockies lead it 3-2 as we go to the 3rd. Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Ford Super Duty. Built better, built stronger, built Ford tough. By Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Frazier on his way to the ballpark.
No, what is it?
It's a great Sunday.
It's one of the, is that one of those bike cabs? Those are Dougie's favorite.
You can go now. Giancarlo Stanton will lead things off in the third. He takes ball one. Stanton leading the league in home runs with 32, RBIs 93, total bases 268, walks with 83. That's inside. And he walked his first time up. His on-base percentage of .405 is best in the league. His slugging percentage is best in the league. And he has the most extra base hits of 61. Is he the MVP of the National League right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just say yes. Who are the other contenders, Doug?
Well, I think Puig's in there. Kershaw's in there.
Well, McCutcheon missed a little time with the DL.
This is a broken bat, fly ball.
Yeah, got in his hands. Didn't get it very far.
Let's take a look at our Steel Tee cool stat of the ball game. Free chip charge. That's a $69 value. The T stands for trust. Steel Tee, Giancarlo Stanton, all-time slugging percentage at Coors Field, 50+ at bats, .918. That's ridiculous. Some pretty good hitters on that list. Eric Davis, what a career he had. Just saw Ryan Ludwig, Johnny Gomes. 3-2 on big Giancarlo Stanton, and this ball's hammered to center field
For an out.
That ball never got more than about 15 feet off the ground, and it still went 410 feet. Stubbs had to reach up at the last instant.
Well, it's all about getting a jump on the baseball, and it doesn't matter how you get this guy to make a left turn to the dugout. That's all you're concerned about. Stubbs, nice play right at the very end, but that leaping catch right there left the ground to be able to make the play.
Yeah, Jonathan Lucroy, I don't think should be left out of that mix, George.
He's meant a lot to their ball club. There's no question about that.
Two-strike count on McGee. Last year playing for the Rakuten Golden Eagles in Japan. He had 28 home runs last year, and I know the Fence are a little shorter in Japan, just 3 this year, but he's not getting runs for the Marlins. It's been a great pickup for him because they struggled offensively last year.
Solid defensively. It was after the big year where he drove in over 100 runs in Milwaukee. It was a steady decline. He needed to go prove himself again, and he did that.
Another play for Drew Stubbs, 2 outs.
This month's number 17 will be retired forever in your Rockies dugout stores or exclusive merchandise stores for number 17 apparel. From hats and tees to other collectibles, stop by any of our 6 dugout locations today.
Marcell Ozuna, who popped to short. Next up. And Drew Stubbs got to chase this one down, and he's going to have to field it off the wall. Last 4 balls have all been hit to center field. Baker to deep center field to close the second inning, and then 3 in a row here, and this one Stubbs could not get to.
Well, I tell you, so much attention put on Stanton, as it should be, and McGee, but Osuna's having a great year. 19 home runs, 70 RBIs, 2-out double here with the head of Stubbs.
Garrett Jones lined right back to Bergman to lead off the second inning.
baby, 247.
On the inside corner, home plate umpire is the crew chief, Tim Welke. Todd Tishner's at first, Clinton Fagan at second, Tim Timmons at third. And this will be Nolan Arenado gloving it and taking the baseball with him back to the dugout. There was a 2-out double by Osuna. He's left there, middle of 3-2 Rockies.
Hitting second this inning. I got to give you some Coors Light cold hard facts about Dickerson's home run, which went upper deck. I'm in section 307. Right to my right is where he hit that home run last night. 455 feet. 33 have gone to the upper deck here to right field since the Coors Field opened up. 18 by 7 different Rockies. Larry Walker hit the first one, and of course Dickerson hit one last night. Let's go back and show you Larry Walker's, the first one from 1996. Walker hit a bunch up here. He hit 8 of those 18. So Walker had the first one. And another famous one you may remember was Carlos Gonzalez in 2010. That's how he ended up with the cycle against the Cubs, when he hit one to the upper deck, leading off the inning against Sean Marshall and the Cubs. But Drew and George, that home run last night was pretty magnificent from Corey Dickerson up here to section 307.
Yeah, it was. Hey, look at that. Nolan Arenado broke out of his slump. Got a base hit. What is he now? 19 for 36 on the homestand.
A lot of confidence, and last night the home run Mark's talking about, if he would have been upright in that same seat, he'd had to run about 8 rows back farther to catch the baseball that Corey hit in the upper deck.
Corey hit the ball to deep right his first time up. Among second-year players with 100 at-bats or more this year, Dickerson's average of 316 is best. Puig is second at 307. Scooter Gennett is tied with Puig at 307. Then Nolan Arenado at 306, but his average has gone up today. Christian Yelich, the Marlins left fielder of sophomore players, is fifth on that list at 290. Well, we're heading to San Francisco, George. There was an earthquake today in Napa, magnitude 6.1 earthquake. This ball in the air to shallow right. Stanton will come on. There's been some injuries. I hope everybody is okay out on the West Coast. Michael McHenry who homered in his first at bat, will come up. Rockies leading 3-2 against Brad Hand. Hand's made 15 appearances this year out of the bullpen. That's where he'll return, as George told you earlier, when Dan Jennings comes back.
Well, they picked up Brad Penny at about July, 1st of July maybe. Made 6 starts at AAA level, pitched well, came up, beat the Reds in his first start. Second start, they won the game. He didn't have a decision. He's been pushed back to the bullpen. So Penny started his career at the big league level with the Marlins, was on the '97 World Championship team. Do you know who the bat boy was for the Marlins on the 1997 World Championship team?
The bat boy for the Marlins in '97.
He's a friend of yours. John Wild works for the Rockies as a pro scouting director.
Right, I knew that.
Pro scouting director, works for the Rockies now. Heads up.
John, bat please. John's moved up though. He's not getting the bats anymore. That's a pretty good toss.
That wasn't bad. About 120 feet. Good form and release.
Good top hand.
Yeah, but he had good release form. I mean, the legs looked good. Everything was good. Had to drive. I'll give it an 8. Would have had a little more carry when it hit the ground, maybe 9.
Look at that. Stuck the landing too.
Okay,
one
enough,
McHenry.
Enough dugout talk. Back to baseball. And you wonder why ball players are not normal people or part-time human beings. And I don't care what Jeff, you can automatically tell that Spilly's part-time.
Spilly is a part-time human being, but I've spent too much time with you, and now I think it's really rubbed off.
Yeah. You're quarter-time human being. Not part, just quarter.
Most days I'll take that.
Absolutely.
Oh, we almost had a triple decker there, George. It popped out of somebody's hands in the third deck, nearly popped out of somebody's hands in the second deck, and went back down to the field level.
Scares me when it gets around that railing in any ballpark.
Please don't.
Yeah, don't reach over. Yeah, do all the crazy things. Try to catch a ball. See, here's the ideal way to do this. So you let some guy try to catch it with his hand at about 85 miles an hour, and then when he drops it, you just pick it up and go, nice stop. That's what Doug did all the time at Shea Stadium.
Three and 2 on McHenry. Fans love McHenry.
That a baby brought his glove. Nice catch. The ushers do a good job here. As soon as the ball does go into a section, there's about 3 or 4 down there checking on everybody to make sure everybody's okay, and then give the thumbs up or a wave. We need some help.
They do a great job, and it's very well coordinated, especially if you need help. 3 and 2 again, and this is on the ground to third. Feed to Baker on the first. That's double play. 5-4-3, and that'll end the inning. Rockies had a leadoff hit from Nolan Arenado. Nothing else. We'll go to the 4-3-2 Rockies. Miami will have the bottom third of their lineup in the 4th inning against Christian Bergman. Time for you to tweet us your Rockies fan photos. Use the hashtag #COFanPhoto for an opportunity to have it shown during an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Gorgeous day at Coors Field. Good Sunday afternoon crowd.
Hey, Jack, you know what? It's great you're doing this with the GoPro and everything, but you're supposed to stop and stop. Stop. You know, it's got a stop sign, you stop.
And stay in that lane. Watch out for car doors opening, though.
Yeah, I never really understood that. Can you explain that to me? You're supposed to ride in that lane, but then people are, I hope people are looking. I guess that's better than riding out in the middle, huh? Another beautiful crowd here at the ballpark on a Sunday afternoon. 80 degrees right down here at the park.
Danny Echeverria, he had a triple in the 2nd inning. That was a fly ball that was lost in the sun by Charlie Blackmon. It's followed up by a Jeff Mathis double. And then Mathis was brought in by Christian Yelich with a 2-out hit. That's how the Marlins scored their 2 runs. This is well hit to right, and again Blackmon battling the sun, has it hit off his glove. Echeverria going to 3rd, and he's there safely. It's going to be another triple for Danny Echeverria. And Blackmon looking at Drew Stubbs says, I don't know what to do.
Well, he's got the flip downs, which are really good glasses to have on sunshiny days. And Blackmon took off on the flight of the baseball. And of course, as a center fielder, you run along beside him. You see Stubbs take off with him, saying back, back, back. Let him know you still got some more distance to go. And Charlie knows and realizes he's right on top of that fence. Goes up to get it with a leap off the end of the glove and then hits the wall. The ball carried well out there.
Yeah, it looks like he saw that one more clearly.
Tell you what, you get. I mean, you're looking at the flags above the scoreboard. The wind's blowing straight down. A lot of carry in right center today. I don't think Echeverria has hit 2 triples in a game.
You got to watch him tag, and he's coming down the line pretty seriously for about 5 strides. He can do that. LeMahieu made the catch, but again, his momentum's going out into right field.
No outs, no reason to take the opportunity with that. I mean, you're going to sit still with it, even with the ability to go out. If there's 2 outs, you might take the chance with the pitcher coming up. But with no outs, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, and the only reason you may have seen him or did see him think about it, at least, was because the pitcher was coming up. So the infield comes in with 1 out.
The other side of that is, too, make them make the throw. What if it slips out of the hand, you airmail it on the screen? I mean, 100 different things could happen, but that's why you fake the run and act like you're going to do it.
Hard hit ball to short. Rutledge has it, hand retired, and now they're 2 gone with Echeverria still standing at 3rd base. Christian Yelich coming up. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. Yelich, a walk and a single through the left side of the infield. 6th time in Marlins history that a player's hit 2 triples in the same game. Emilio Bonifacio did it. Lomo, Logan Morrison, Brian Peterson, Jesus Tavares, and Jose Reyes. That's not a surprise with Reyes. And it's 0-2 on Yelich. It's happened 11 times now this year, believe it or not. D. Gordon, I knew somebody had done it again. I thought maybe Rocky had done it. D. Gordon did it against us, against the Rockies. 2 triples.
Yeah, but you know what? His were probably legit triples. The son played in both of these. Right?
The first one especially. Second one, just off the top of the glove of Blackman. Two and 2 on Yelich. 3 and 2. Well, Christian Yelich and Nolan Arenado are good friends. 2 Southern California kids who grew up playing on the same travel team together. Think that team won some games?
Pretty good. I always ask Chatwood, were you not good enough to make their team? Nolan beat Chatwood for the championship in Southern California. Chatwood was on the mound.
Strike 3. Bergman makes a pitch, freezes Yelich to end the inning. Leadoff triple Echeverria, and Bergman prevents him from scoring and keeps the Rockies in front by a run. Marlins too, as you look at Michael Kadire in the middle of the picture. We take a look at our injury report brought to you by University of Colorado Health. Matt McBride will lead it off. Well, unfortunately, for the 3rd time this year, Michael Kadire is going on the disabled list with that strained left hamstring. Tough part about it is Michael had not played since last Sunday when he produced a cycle in the 2nd game of that twin bill against the Reds. He did pinch hit last night, so instead of being retroactive back to last Sunday, he goes on the DL, and it is 15 days now from yesterday until he can come off. Rockies were shorthanded yesterday. Rosario had a wrist situation. Play a 13-inning game. So that left hamstring is got Michael on the disabled list twice this year. And he had just come off after being on with the shoulder situation for 2 months. McBride hooks one, and that's foul. McBride catches his breath. Back to work. 1-2 count. And misses at 94.
Chris Capuano started again for the Yankees today. He's been in a rotation since being traded over there by the Colorado Rockies. Pop fly up in the infield. 6 innings, 3 hits. He did give up a couple of home runs on 3 runs. The Super Suites Conference Center at Coors Field is available for your game day or non-game day meetings. Groups of 25 to 200 enjoy the views of the city as well as the baseball field from this unique meeting place. Call the Rockies, 303 Rockies. Make your reservations now.
Rutledge hitting .354 against lefties this year. Had an infield hit his first time. Take strike 1. One and two. One, two. Good looking breaking ball that's off the plate. Rutledge spit on it. 2-2. We were talking about Kadire. Michael won the batting title last year in the National League at .331. Justin Morneau, his longtime teammate from Minnesota, is leading right now at .314. Do you realize that that would be the lowest average to lead the league, the National League, in hitting since 1988, when the great Tony Gwynn led the National League with a .313 average? Get down, it will. It's a tweener. Rutledge to second, and he's long striding it toward third. Throw, no throw. It's a day of triples. Rutledge thrown out, a 1-out triple in the 4th. And for Rutledge, his 4th 3-bagger of the year.
And hit it in the right part of the ballpark on a Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Good look at this cutter again, down and into Rutledge, and he slices this ball into the outfield. And he knows he's got 2, and he's hoping for 3. He got off of that wall. And with Osuna and the ball right out in front of him, he let the helmet fly and the hair blow in the wind all the way to third.
Mayhew went around. Infield's in. Rockies up a run. LeMahieu left in a double switch in the 9th inning yesterday, so he was just 1 for 3.
30th triple for the Rockies this year. That's 4th in the National League. Arizona leads it with 37.
Right to short. Here comes Rutledge, and now he's hung up. Echeverria made a good throw, and Rutledge couldn't stay in the rundown long enough to get DJ to scoring position. So infield in. He went on contact anyhow.
I want to see if Walt has anything to say to him there. Just a fist bump as he went in the dugout. So it was a planned play on the Rocky side of things, making sure the throw came through perfectly, and Mathis ran it to perfection.
So Bergman with 2 outs.
That's part of the reason they probably tried to go to make the perfect throw. Well, the pitcher coming up.
Yeah,
right? That's just kind of common knowledge of what you're trying to get accomplished.
Based on where you are in the order. Baker throws out Bergman, and that's all for the Rockies in the fourth. They got a triple from Josh Rutledge. They lead at 3-2. To the top of the fifth inning, Baker, Stanton, McGee on a Sunday at Coors Field. The day after every Rockies victory, get 40% off your online order at Papa John's. Enter the promo code ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com, and 10% of net sales donated to Children's Hospital Colorado. Bergman made the last out, so he's still completing his warm-up pitches. Rockies head to San Francisco after the ball game this afternoon. They'll play 4 against the Giants, then it's back to Phoenix to take on the Diamondbacks. Fifth inning's our Toyota Talk inning. We'll get some questions here momentarily. Baker, a fly ball to deep right and a fly ball to very deep center field. Bergman breaking ball high. Pulled to deep short. Rutledge almost lost his footing, still made a perfect throw to McBride.
There you go out to get to this baseball, and you're trying to get your footing, get your feet put together. Rutledge kind of stammered there, and then when he went out, he had an angle on the grass. That's what caused it to slide. Nothing to do with the care of the grass. Right here, watch when this left foot comes forward. Right here, it's at such an angle that it about slipped out from underneath of it. Charlie's going to get this one.
Skies to right. 2 outs quickly, and that'll bring up Casey McGee. If a game gets postponed, but the guy at bat gets traded, what happens? It's a good question. Somebody else will have to hit.
They don't let him come back for the day and hit and then go back? Well, no, they don't. No. If a guy gets traded, then you have to insert somebody in the lineup for him who will hit. But it's a good question. Been guys traded in between doubleheaders in the same ballpark. Who was the guy with the outfielder with the Montreal Expos? Joel Youngblood got traded, and he walked from the Montreal locker room around to the Mets or vice versa, and was played in the second game for the other team.
They got in a fight, then started a brawl, didn't he?
Who knows?
No.
No, and Joel,
Who knows? A lot of guys on the DL go on the road trip. It depends where they are in their rehab process. So if they go out on the road, get the same rehab work done, in the case of Michael Kadire, he will go on the road trip. We'll work with Keith Duggar and Scotty Garrett. Also, if he's able to keep swinging the bat, which you assume he will be, swung the bat last night, he'll keep sharp from that standpoint also, and he's around the guys.
Leadership. Get a veteran guy that knows what he's doing. Obviously, he knows it comes across a little different when you're in the lineup every day.
Center field, boy, Stubbs had a busy day, and this one's off the very top of the wall, and McGee's got himself a double.
Almost got himself
thrown out.
How about that throw?
Hit the ball 415 feet. You think it's going to be an easy double. It wasn't.
Well, again, you credit the Rockies defense and Stubbs for what he did there. He went back to go get to the ball. All right, I'm not going to get it, but let's position myself that when it does come off of this wall, I'm going to be able to turn and throw. That's exactly what he did. Snap throw all the way in. It was close. DJ grabs the baseball. The foot just got in there about 4 or 5 feet in front of what the tag would have been. But a surprised Casey McGee.
Which prospect is rising the fastest in the Rockies system?
Well, player position wise, probably Trevor Story's moved quickly. I think McMahon probably would have moved. Prime would have moved, but that Asheville team's got a chance to just destroy everything. Line shot right at Stubbs will end the inning. From the pitching side of things, I honestly feel like Tyler Anderson's probably jumped ahead of the other two guys. He's thrown the ball very well, had a streak of 27 innings shutout baseball.
Rockies continue to lead 3-2. Bergman. First Bank game recap. Put the 7th inning stretch to good use. Sign up for First Bank's free checking at efirstbank.com. Rockies up 3-2. Nolan Arenado, 2-run home run. Michael McHenry had a solo home run. All of the runs for the Rockies came in that first frame. And Danny Echeverria has a couple of triples for the Marlins. Brad Hand, after giving up 3 in the first, has allowed just 2 hits since then. Top of the order, Charlie Blackmon, who had a base hit in the first and also a strikeout. Let's look at a 1-0 pitch, and it's outside and away. 2-0. So it's 2-1.
Start to swing things, come inside, you're thinking it's going to be away, and then try to duck to get out of the way of the pitch. Unfortunately, the bat came all the way through the zone and a strike call. Charlie didn't like that.
Yeah. And now Hand glared back at him for a moment.
Yeah, it spun completely out of the way. As a hitter, you don't really mind down, from the chest down. You start getting that head area, you get a little disappointed in the actions.
Blackman walks. And that'll bring up Stubbs. Thanks again for tweeting in your questions last inning during Twitter Talk. Check our Facebook page for more answers to questions at facebook.com/RootSportsRN.
Most pitches he has thrown out of the bullpen. 7-inning start against Arizona, 107. Majority of his outings have come in relief. That ball by him. Drew Stubbs in the top 5 in average against left-handers in the National League. His average at 365. David Wright leads it at 384. Stanton with 372.
Ben Revere hits left-handed. It's interesting. He's in that grouping. 1-2. Stubbs with a base hit to left. And now the Rockies are in business. 2 out, nobody out in the 5th.
And the middle of the Rockies order coming up. Shot through the left side of the infield. I was glancing down to their bullpen to see who they might get up. It would be Brad Penny, who's their long guy, and it appears that's the guy they'll go to. Hand's got himself in a little bit of a pickle here with runners at first and second. And nobody out, and there's Brad Penny.
Arenado, a 2-run home run and a sharp single. He's got 8 hits in this series. The home run he hit in the first, and this thing was hit to one of the deepest portions of the park, and it was a no doubt. And Nolan gets hit. Got his elbows on his right arm.
You know, a lot of guys lead at you know, a lot of guys wear that protective gear on their left lead elbow, but not on that back right elbow, and that's exactly where he got hit. Another look at it right here on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Started that swing, tried to get out of the way with it. Oh, that hurts.
Bases loaded, nobody out for Corey Dickerson.
Dickerson this year 1 for 7 with the bases loaded. Well, maybe you might get a visit from Chuck Hernandez. You will get one from Chuck. Mine a little bit of time down in the bullpen right now. 81 pitches thrown in this game. You got a 3-2 game. Walk. Base hit batsman. Relying on the outfield, the percentage of teams' RBIs by their outfield, and this combination of everybody that's worn a uniform by the Rockies and played in the outfield, 37%. Very good number. Tells you what this outfield has done this year.
Blackman with a walk to lead off the inning. Stubbs a base hit to left. And Nolan Arenado, as you just saw, was hit. Checking to see the effect on his throwing. Dickerson twice has hit the ball in the air to Stanton. Stanton's kind of waving his arm around, getting his shoulder loose in case he has to make a throw. 0-1.
Two big benders in a row, straight over the top hook. Yeah, it's pretty difficult to throw these at altitude, but when you can and you've got command of it, very difficult to hit. 2 in a row to Dickerson.
McHenry's on deck. Dickerson cuts down a little bit on the swing here. Trying to get it in play. And hand goes right back to that curveball, and he strikes out Dickerson on 3 pitches.
I didn't think he'd see another fastball at all because he hadn't been able to throw it for strikes. He almost hit Charlie twice, and then he does hit Nolan. And the other fastball he threw, Stubbs got a base hit on, so he just went back to the breaking ball and was able to hang on to the ball and get the swing and miss. What you have to be careful of is a base runner here with their corner infield up on the grass, even with the bag. It's an easy pick for a catcher. Anybody get close to you sneaking around. Miami 2 for 10. Rockies 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position.
And that's down low on McHenry. McHenry a home run, then he hit after a lengthy at bat, hit into a 5-4-3 double play. Here's the big fly. Wasn't really a fly, it was a line drive.
Hey, what, 85th pitch of the game, 94-mile-an-hour fastball. That's impressive from the left-hander, but the command has left him from time to time through this ball game.
Well, you don't want to leave this situation and have it be an empty one. Bases loaded, nobody out. Now bases loaded, one out, and a 1-1 count on McHenry. And you have good speed at third, great speed at second. Nolan Arenado's an average runner at first. Outfield very deep for McHenry. It's kind of how Miami's played it. They'll give you the stuff in front. Three and one. Now McHenry's really in the driver's seat.
Middle half in heater, look to drive something hard. Won't even think about it up the middle, just pull it. Wouldn't throw him a strike.
Ball four, and that'll force in the Rockies' fourth run. Charlie Blackmon come on down. And McHenry has his second ribby of the game. Didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, see if Redmond, he's asked the question, is he ready or not? Talk to Chuck Hernandez. Now he's going to come out of the dugout and make that move.
That's 4 runs in this series that have been walked in. Matt McBride will face a new arm when he comes up with the bases loaded. Rockies leading 4-2 in the 5th inning. Big bad Brad Penny with 9 lives to his major league career is emerging from the bullpen in deep right center field. He'll be aboard next. On Root Sports is brought to you by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com, your local Dodge dealer today. By Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And by Xfinity, ask about the X1 platform to make your future awesome.
Now Brad Penny will come into the ball game and he will inherit a bases loaded situation. Brad, mentioned earlier, had spent most of the summer after being in spring training with the Kansas City Royals at home. Continued to throw, continued to stay in shape. Brad's won 120 games, lost 100. 14 of those wins have come against the Colorado Rockies. He had 27 games against the Rockies, 24 starts, 14-3 with a .312 earned run average.
Brad Penny reinventing himself as a reliever late in his career. Inherits the bases loaded situation, and Mr. Grand Slam at the plate, Matt McBride. And you go weeks on end, and if you're a call-up player, I mean, you go seasons between opportunities to have the bases loaded and you be at the plate. This is twice in a few days for McBride. See if he can come through again. Rockies up 4-2.
You know, Penny's not one of those guys that's going to blow the ball by you anymore, but Matt McBride with this grand slam, what Drew's talking about, oh yeah. Came off a Duffy after an error at third, a walk, and a base hit. McBride made them all pay for it with that long ball to left field.
One ball, one strike. Two off-speed deliveries from Brad Penny.
Fastball will be 90 to 93. Used to be 95, 97. He's pitched in a lot of innings, obviously. 120 ball games. He's added a curveball, the split finger. There's two additional pitches. He used to be fastball cutter and a whole lot of orneriness.
2-1.
Brad's 6'5", and he should have trimmed down to 270. He got in the gym and he's recently married and has a beautiful little baby now. Living in Kansas City area.
Big man. 2 balls and a strike on McBride. 1 out. Bases full of Rockies, and now Penny will summon Jeff Mathis. Jeff Baker joining the conversation.
Make sure you got the signs right. It's more than anything. That's all you're trying to accomplish here.
Here's a 2-1 to McBride. In the air down the right field line. Long run for Stanton. He was over at right center. It's a foul ball.
I mean, he was way over in right center field. He was like over by the Rockies bullpen door. It's like he almost went over to visit with his own bullpen prior to the pitch being hit. I mean, Stanton has to run forever. He's been positioned over that way, and then Penny ran a fastball in, and McBride almost dumped it in. That would have been a nice add-on if that would have stayed in fair territory.
After that swing, Stan says, I'm not going as far toward right center field. 2-2 on McBride.
Try to throw the split finger again. He'll run the count to 3-2.
If you're wondering, the last guy to hit 2 grand slams for the Rockies in a season wasn't that long ago. 2012. Michael Kadire. (3-2). This is popped up to shallow center. Osuna can throw, and not deep enough, obviously, for even Drew Stubbs to attempt to come home on. So now, with 2 outs, Rutledge will try to deliver the clutch hit. Strike on Rutledge. Josh, a single and a triple. Circled to right center field. The base hit was of the infield variety.
Well, that's the split finger he's throwing there. That's the added pitch Brad came up with this winter to go along with that hard curveball. One more look right out of the hand. You can see him come after this. Actually spun a curveball in there. I thought it was the split when I saw it originally up here on the monitor. It was the hard curveball.
Oh, 2.
Hand hoping these 3 runs to stay put, keep it at a 4-3 game, or excuse me, yeah, 4-2 ball game. That they want this thing get carried away any farther.
Oh, 2. Tried to paint. Still got pretty good velocity. 94 there.
Oh, he's still got good velocity. It's consistently staying there, making the good pitches.
I remember back in the day, he'd worked first few innings, 90, 91, spot his fastball. All of a sudden, little traffic, 5th, 6th inning, here came 96, 97.
Sometimes 98. I mean, he had the ability to go do that. That's what made him a separator at that time.
Rutledge on the ground to third, and the Marlins get out of it, giving up only 1 run, and that was because Hand walked McHenry with the bases loaded. Rockies do have a 2-run advantage going to the 6th.
Over the Marlins. Today was the Little League World Series title game between South Korea and the Jackie Robinson West Little League from Chicago. You know, caps, a tip of the cap to the Jackie Robinson kids. They lost today 8-4, but boy, did they electrify the country, especially LaTroy Hawkins, who's from Gary, Indiana. He actually donated some money to help the cause of the Jackie Robinson West Little League.
I'm a product of the league, and I know if I was taking that trip and we were fortunate enough to make it to Williamsport, I would want my parents there. And, you know, I thought it'd be a good thing to make sure that when those kids, while they're playing, they get a chance to look up in the stands and see their mom and dads and their grandparents and familiar faces.
Georgia, it was he and the Upton brothers and Torrey Hunter. They donated some money, but you know, LaTroy and his wife Anita, they have done everything off the field with this Rockies team this year when they got here. Talked to him this week. You know, visit to the Buckley Air Force Base. He was there. Boys and girls clubs, big brothers, big sisters, St. Anthony Hospital, you name it. That guy has done it. He is one of the good guys in the game.
Oh, he really is.
Yeah.
He's always been a guy that's heavily involved. He's very philanthropic. That's why the Rockies wanted him back. Only things he can do on the field. He's had a good year in that bullpen in the 9th inning. He wishes, and the Rockies wish, there were a lot more save opportunities this year, but the things LaTroy brings to an organization are invaluable.
And every young player should watch what he does and how he conducts himself with the media, the fans, and the general public, and try to model after that. He's one of the older guys that gets it.
This is in the air to Blackman in right. Charlie's got it. And Garrett Jones is retired. I'll bring up Adeiny Echeverria. Great story that a couple of terrific stories that have emanated from the Little League World Series this year. A young lady from Philadelphia. She can bring it, huh?
Uh-huh. Well, how big was that one dude? It was like 6'3".
Yeah, Monet's on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Mm-hmm. Right there. Actually, I'll show it to you in a minute, Drew.
This is another opportunity for Blackman, and Echeverria is retired. And here's Monet Davis on the cover. And she said, I saw an interview with her, and she handles the interview. She's a kid. She handles these interviews in a tremendous fashion.
An educated kid
that
understands it. I think obviously, you know, with her talent, what she's done on the mound and what she's been able to perform at, that she's probably been interviewed more than once.
She says baseball may be her number 3 sport because she also plays soccer, and her first love is basketball. She's already let it be known that she wants to play point guard for Gino Auriemma at UConn, and he took notice. He tweeted back congratulations on what she'd been doing in Williamsport.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You don't want to get caught with an NCAA violation for talking to him too young here.
That's right. 3 fly balls in a 1-2-3 inning, a 7-pitch inning for Bergman. Safely through the 6th. The Rockies are up 4-2 behind Christian. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Here's our AT&T fan photo of the game. Here's a veteran of many, many Rockies ball games through the years. Or maybe not. This is number 1, and she's having a great time. That's a beautiful young lady. Tweet your photo to #COFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Brad Penny will continue on. And there was speculation that Penny would make this start, not Hand. Hand got the start, and he gave up 4 runs in 4 1/3. LeMahieu will lead things off, and Christian Bergman and Charlie Blackman. DJ's 0 for 2. one on DJ. And that's a base hit to right for LeMahieu. That'll make the assignment for Christian Bergman a rather obvious one.
Hey, join the Rockies, Drew, September the 7th for the second annual Yoga Day at Coors Field. Buy the Yoga Day ticket package and receive a Rockies themed yoga item. Plus, you get to participate in a special post-game yoga session on the field.
Washington put it on the Giants today. The hit, wow. Little hit and run was on, and the last thing you want to see with a hit and run is a line drive, a soft line drive at that, at an infielder. It turns into a double play. 4-3.
Thought it shows you the confidence Walt has in his ability to swing the bat with a 2-run lead. A line drive hit. TJ's got to try to just get out of the way, keep from getting hit by the baseball. The double play turned.
I was saying the Giants got beat up today by Washington 14-6.
Atlanta's beat 5-3.
Atlanta got shut out yesterday.
1-0.
And the reason that's noteworthy is that they had gone 55 games this year in a row without being shut out. So now the longest streak in baseball for not being shut out belongs to the team the Rockies are playing today, the Marlins, who've gone 54 in a row without being shut out, which to me is fascinating in that a year ago they were awful offensively. Last in baseball.
Milwaukee beat Pittsburgh 4-3. St. Louis lost to Philadelphia 7-1.
Fascinating may be too strong an adjective. How about interesting?
Interesting. So that makes it 2.5 game lead now for Milwaukee over St. Louis.
Yep.
Yankees beat the White Sox 7-4. Chris Sale started that game. 4 unearned runs scored against him. His earned run average 2.03. I want to correct myself. Pittsburgh is 4 back now.
Another base hit for Blackman. And Charlie will move up. Never relax with Charlie Blackmon's on the base pass.
Well, I think that one bat deal over for me is when it came up and in, Charlie was a little upset. And then he gets this base hit here. He's upset with the fact on those 2 balls in the outfield, kind of taking a wide turn. I'm not going to get after it at all. Then he just flies. Once he saw the ball left Stanton's hand and a floated throw in, watch. He's going to watch right here. See, when he saw that ball get floated in, now it's going to be a double relay to get there. You're not going to get it. Good hustle, Charlie Blackman.
Yeah, nice little play by Blackman, all on the read of the throw. See if the Rockies can take advantage with 2 outs. Stubbs did go around. It's 0-1, and you score that a double for Blackman. And the hustle's going to pay off down the left field line. Blackman comes around, Stubbs into second with a run-scoring double. 5-2 Colorado. Second hit of the ball game for Drew Stubbs. It's a winning play by Blackman.
Just a winning play all the way around, and then Penny tried to spin the breaking ball here. Shot down the left field line by Drew Stubbs down into the corner. Chase given, but there's no chance for it. Charlie, I love the hustle play to expand the lead 5-2. The other side of this, with that bullpen being overworked yesterday, how about Christian Bergman? 6 innings now. He's given up 2 runs on 6 hits. That's outstanding. Going to go back out to pitch the 7th. Arenado with a chance to expand the lead.
Taking off is Stubbs. Will steal third, standing up.
Now Penny kind of no look this time, and Stubbs took advantage of it as Mike Redmond looks on from the dugout. Penny just went slow delivery to the plate. Allowed Stubbs with a ginormous lead. The one thing taken notice by Rockies players, regardless of the inning, when they 2 outs, their defense spreads out in the middle and they don't hold runners on. So as a base stealer, you take advantage of that. You can get a huge lead, a running lead, and take off and get that stolen base.
One and one on Nolan. Stubbs with 16 stolen bases, standing at third with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th outside. 2 and 1. Arenado having an enormous August. He's had a huge homestand. 19 for his last 36 at the plate. And that's right back at Penny, who throws to first. Rockies get a 2-out run. The hustle double by Blackmon. And then a double by Stubbs, delivering him. 5-2. Two as we go to the 7th inning. Today's fun fact brought to you by All Copy Products. Last season, Nolan Arenado became the 10th player to win a Gold Glove as a rookie. The last rookie to win a Gold Glove prior to Arenado, Charles Johnson with the Marlins in 1995. And of course, later on in his career, he would play for the Rockies. This is a bit strange for me, George. Brad Penny, with the Marlins down by 3 runs, is going to hit for himself.
Yeah, it does to me a little bit too, unless their bullpen is just shot from throwing so much. Now Penny has always been a fairly good hitter. He has 3 home runs, 34 RBIs in his career. He's hit 156. Hit a double the other day. They were laughing in their locker room. He said he hit that double. They thought they were going to have to take oxygen to him at second.
Well, the Marlins went through fewer arms yesterday in that 13-inning game than the Rockies. They used 5 out of the pen. The Rockies used all 8 that were available in the bullpen. One and 2. And this one is going to be run down by Stubbs. Boy, off the bat, I thought Penny had thrown out a base hit. I'll bring up Christian Yelich. The Ford Strike Zone's powered by Built Ford Tough Trucks. Built better, built stronger, built Ford Tough. No wonder the Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks 37 years running. Yelich a walk, a single to drive in a run, and he was caught looking in the fourth. Bergman has gotten a lot of fly ball outs, but kind of mishit fly balls.
A lot off the end of the bat, out below the label. Done a great job. It appears Juan Nicasio is now throwing down in the Rockies bullpen. He threw a clean inning in last night's game. Bergman with 89 pitches, the last to change up at 80 to go 2-1.
That is line to left and into the corner. Yelich, who runs well, will shut it down at second. Jeff Baker next.
On a 2-1 count fastball, it looked to appear to be down and away from him, and he just went with the pitch. We saw that earlier in the ball game where he slashed the ball down the left field line for an RBI, and then he comes up here and does the same thing. Slaps the ball through the left side. Wrong guy to play right now. Baker hitting .353 with runners in scoring position. Jimmy Wright out to visit for a minute. Nicasio not quite ready down in the bullpen. Phone is ringing down there. Follow every Rockies game on MLB.com at bat on your favorite mobile phone or tablet. Get instant replays, scores, stats, audio, and a whole lot more.
Baker with Stanton on deck. The Rockies up 5-2. They've out hit Miami 10-7 in the ball game. Baker bounces one over the head of Brett Butler. It's Brett. Could he ever bunt?
Played with him in Cleveland. Rookie year. Signed by the Atlanta Braves originally. Two speedy outfielders, Otis Nixon and Brett Butler.
This ball lined to deep right. It's over the head of Blackman. Yelich will score, and Baker's going to end up at second base. And with Stanton coming up, you got to figure Walt's not going to allow him to see Bergman for a fourth time.
They're asking if he's ready or not coming down out of the bullpen right now. Appeared to be a slider, stayed a little bit too much of the plate. Baker, as I mentioned, .352 with runners in scoring position. And then this ball is hit into right field, just short of the fence in right field. Bergie's got 6 1/3 now. 5-3 ball game.
Well, I guess Nicasio's not ready yet. Or that was Bergman who stepped off. It wasn't a stall here by McHenry.
You want to make sure they're on the same page here when they're facing Stanton. I mean, it's basically games on the line. 2-run lead.
Stanton walked, hit that 1-iron to the wall in center field that Stubbs made a leaping catch on, and then he hit a fly ball to right.
Second most home runs since 2011. He's hit 127. Cabrera 135. Batista and Encarnacion, 122 apiece. Adrian Beltre, 115.
Inside ball one. Well, since Marlins Park opened in 2012, everybody else is, man, it's a tough place to hit, except Stanton's crushed the ball there. 307 lifetime average at Marlins Park. That's off his foot. More home runs at home. And that's why when people always talk about Coors Field, the huge advantage, I think it was Corey Dickerson I was talking to the other day about this. You're going to be more comfortable at home. You're familiar with the background. You're familiar with how hard the dirt is, even in the batter's box.
Well,
all the little things that are comfortable to you, familiar to you, that's home. It's an advantage.
The one thing you failed to mention out of everything you just said, yeah, that's home. But your bed is home. Your kitchen is your home. Your house is your home. You're much more comfortable than where you are out on the road, eating in a restaurant or staying in a motel bed. So I mean, that plays a big role in it also. You're around your support group daily.
Bergman trying to make a pitch here to Stanton. Just missed.
Last night, Stanton swung and missed on a slider away from Ottavino. Really wasn't that good a pitch. I mean, it's well out of the strike zone. I don't think he saw it. And then Belial struck him out above his hands. Going inside.
I know that it's not the end of the world if he loses Stanton, because you have a double play candidate, McGee, behind him, and it would set up a force in the infield. And that's a base hit. It's going to get the Marlins within a run. Rutledge was swung over in the hole. That's where Stanton has really improved. Instead of trying to always hit the ball 500 feet, he knows he can drive in runs with singles and doubles, and he's really done that in this series. He has a ribby in every ball game.
Now that ball, trying to work it down and in, it ended up out over the plate and allowed him to extend. That allowed Baker to come around and score. I think Walt really wanted to have Nicasio face Stanton, but he just didn't get ready in the bullpen on time. There was numerous calls down, as I could see from here. Now Nicasio will come in with runners on first, and you know what? High fives. That's right, for Christian Bergman. Nice job. 6 and a third innings. Weathered a storm and turning it over to Nicasio. 5-4 Rockies.
Advertise your business locally on the networks people watch. Go to Comcast Spotlight.com for details. Rockies up now 5-4. Was 5-2. Marlins have scored twice here in the 7th. Nolan Arenado has a home run. McHenry a home run. Rutledge has thrown out a couple of hits. Bergman working deeper into a ball game than he ever has in his young career. 6 1/3. tying run, and Stanton is at first base with 1 out, and Casey McGee is due up to face Juan Nicasio.
And Nicasio the other night faced McGee, and he had a single off of him, and then the guy in the on deck circle, of course, that big, or he walked him, and then the big blow came from Osuna with that grand slam. McGee does lead the major leagues with 25 double plays that he's hit into.
Mentioned McGee in Japan last year with Rakuten, the Golden Eagles. His teammates included Andrew Jones, Kaz Matsui over there, Takashi Saito, and Masahiro Tanaka, who was 24-0, now of course pitches for the Yankees. They did win the Japan series.
Imagine that. What a kind of ring he got. I'd like to see it.
He played against Spilly last year. Spilly over in Japan. Stanton chased back. McGee behind 1-2. How many times do you think people, teachers, coaches, looked at his last name and said, "Hey, McGee, you here?"
Everybody, including me. That's the way it's spelled.
And Juan gets him with a slider. So Nicasio strikes out McGee. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Osuna.
Good slider down and away after steady diet of fastballs. Took it in a very good position right off the corner of the plate.
Osuna in the ball game, a double back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 3. Osuna's taken off the last 7 ball games. Prior to that, this is how baseball is. He was 2 for 23. He had the grand slam on Friday. 5 RBI ball game on Friday for Osuna. 1 ball, 1 strike. And another foul ball.
Good opportunity to go back to that slider now in a 1-2 count, similar to the one that you fed McGee. Casio still growing into the position of working out of the bullpen. The transition started after a couple of starts at AAA Colorado Springs.
And this one down the right field line near the wall, and Charlie slides, can't make the catch.
Well, is he all right?
Yeah, he is all right. A tough day in right field for Blackmon because of the sun, and now he gets a ball that's really close to that wall.
Yeah, Charlie probably disappointed knowing Charlie that he didn't catch this ball. I'll tell you, he came all so close, very close, hit right on the heel of the glove, and then of course the knee, and jammed up against that padded wall.
To short. Rutledge hangs with it and flips for the out at second. A stand. 2 runs for the Marlins in the 7th to tighten things up considerably. It's 5-4. Stretch time at Coors Field. We'll come back with God Bless America.
Security troops in contact engagements and medical emergencies. On May 28, 2014, Jake was dispatched on a mission with his squad mates and made the ultimate sacrifice, giving his life when his helicopter crashed during a late-night mission. Let us show our support for Jake's family, who is on field today to celebrate his memory. His family asks that we remember and pray for all our troops and their families as they give selflessly to our country in support of freedom. Fans, please rise as we honor our great country by the performance of God Bless America. Performing God Bless America today, representing the Colorado National Guard's 101st Army Band, is Sergeant Brian Person. Please welcome Sergeant Person and join him by singing along to God Bless America.
14th home run of the year. A man aboard. And then a couple of hitters later, Mike McHenry came up and he lined one over the left field wall. The home run for McHenry is 5th. And Drew Stubbs added a 5th run with a 2-out double last frame. Rockies had a 5-2 lead. The Marlins carved into that. It's 5-4 now. Mooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, open in Greenwood Village as well as Colorado Springs. Donovan Solano is in for Jeff Baker at second base, and even up switch, Brad Penny continuing on.
Solano's normally the second baseman. Baker, a little bit, this guy's a better defensive player than Jeff Baker. Baker, his bat plays hitter really well.
Yeah, you wonder, he had that sinus issue, and you wonder if that's affecting him again, because the Marlins need offense right now, trailing as opposed to defense. Brad Penny will face Corey Dickerson here in the 7th. And he's gone an inning and 2/3. Dickerson's 0 for 3. And not anymore. Can't keep a good man down. Leadoff single for Dickerson, and that'll bring up McHenry, who's driven in a couple of runs this afternoon.
Go ahead and take a nice swing on the ball there. Now you got McHenry up, good fastball hitter. You got a guy that can swing that can run a little bit at first base too with Corey Dickerson. Fastball, first pitch away, sliced into left field for a base hit.
McHenry hits it to center field. Asuna's right there. 1 out. Next will be Matt McBride.
Nice job on Juan Nicasio with coming in and be able to get the strikeout of McGee and then Osuna on the force out at second base to keep it a 5-4 ball game. The Rockies bullpen continues to throw. Adam Ottavino, it appears to be, and Boone Logan. That's switched around to Rex Brothers now. Yeah, Boone Logan and Adam Ottavino.
McBride a walk, a pop out, and a fly ball to shallow center field. 14 hits in the 13-inning game yesterday. The Rockies have 11 hits here as they bat in the 7th. Rockies 33 and 33 at home. Took a topspin hop off the glove of Echeverria into center field, first and third.
Should be ruled as a base hit, I would think. We'll know more in a minute as they take another look at it. Echeverria is looking back up on the scoreboard. Base hit given. Penny now got runners first, third, 1 out. You get speed on the corners, speed at the plate. Look at that ball that got through the middle.
You got some options if you're Walt. You have speed at the plate, as you mentioned. You have pretty good speed at third base. You have a right-handed bat. You have a big man on the mound. You could think squeeze, or you could say, listen, he's going to be a tough guy to double up and let him swing it.
I'm going to choose to let him swing it. Line drive guy might hit it deep enough to get him in either way. done, the left-handers warming up.
1-1. Now if you're going to put it on, this may be the pitch.
He's done. He's 10-5 on the year. He's like the good luck charm. Well, the difficult thing about doing that is you don't know when you have an older veteran on the mound of what they will throw in those situations. You don't know if they're going to throw another fastball. Is he going to come with a breaking ball? That time it was a split finger at 87. And the more the movement on the baseball, the harder it is to bunt.
Two and two, Mathis with a good block. Auto glass damage, call Safelight 303-287-5000 on the internet at safelight.com. Rockies up 5-4. That's the score they won by last night in 13. Trying to tack on an insurance run or perhaps more with runners at first and third, 1 out, 2-2 on Rutledge. LeMahieu on deck.
I think Penny felt like he had to strike out there on that ball inside, but I think the reaction of Rutledge got the home plate umpire, Tim Wilkie, to not call it a strike, and it wasn't. Close, but it wasn't. A really good mark of an umpire is a guy that can close out an inning, close out an at bat, really bear down on the strike zone.
This is fouled off. Rutledge getting steady work with the injury to Troy Tulowitzki. Most days he's been the starting shortstop. Culberson's had some starts there. Most days it's been Josh. Ball 4, and the bases are loaded for LeMahieu. Bride to second.
Now they only have the left-hander going down in the bullpen. You have 2 right-handers coming up, but yet right-handers have not hit done very well. Penny came in with the bases loaded when he entered into the ball game. Fly ball to center field, and he got a third out on a fielder's choice. Worked out in the previous inning, but they run her on second. Mayhew hit 250 this year with runners with the bases full.
Brandon Barnes is in the on deck circle. Top of the wall. Dickerson scores. McBride coming home, and stopping at third is Rutledge on a ball that nearly got out of here for a slam, and the Rockies increase their lead to 7-4. DJ LeMahieu coming through.
Big base hit. 32 RBIs now for DJ, and he took a ball to right field, which normally you don't see him drive it that far, and he does. Almost out of this ballpark. Stanton went back on it as far as he could. 4-seam fastball, and the ball just carried to right. And then it was off to the races, but everybody had to stall on the bases just for a short time to see where the ball was, to make sure Stanton was not going to catch this baseball. And that's why you see the runners freezing at third, at second, and at first. And then Rutledge is the one that took off. He ends up at third. So you got first base open. Brandon Barnes, the Rockies' top pinch hitter, and one of the top pinch hitters in baseball at the plate.
Barnes fouls it off, infield in. Rockies up by 3 runs. LeMahieu 6 for 11 in the series after that double. And the 7 runs means everybody gets tacos tomorrow. Don't forget to go to your participating Taco Bell location between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. Two-strike count on Barnes.
15 pinch hit singles, or the pinch hits I should say, leads the National League. Or excuse me, leads all of major leagues. Is that what that means, Doug? Doug, good to have you back.
Strike 3 on the outside corner. Barnes shaking his head as he departs. Tim Welke calling a pitch that was low and away, a strike.
And off the plate, not a strike at all. Hadn't called it all day for Penny. He does call it here. Missed by a good 3 to 4 inches off of the plate. Now you see Mike Redmond going to go to the mound and take out a pitcher who he caught in the '97 World Series. Go down to the bullpen and bring in the left-hander Dunn.
So the Rockies get a couple runs off Penny, still working here in the 7th, 7-4. Against the Marlins they haven't done since 2011, win a home series against them. They won last night 5-4 in 13 innings after being defeated 13-5 on Friday night. Runners at second and third. Charlie Blackmon will face Mike Dunn, hard throwing left-hander for the Marlins. League hitting just .217 against him. Inherited runners. Stranded 25 out of 32. That's a great number.
It is an outstanding number. You see his record, though. I mean, that's the thing that jumps out at you from Dunn. 10-5, so he's kind of a good luck charm for Redmond. Usually when he comes in a ball game, they're able to come back. He can work out of this one. He'll face Charlie Blackmon. It was Charlie on a day with a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. Pretty typical left on left. You'll see that slider come into play early. It did.
This is popped up, playable, and foul ground from McGee. He's got it. That ends the inning. Rockies scored twice on the booming double to right field by DJ LeMahieu. 7-4.
We go to the 8th. They lead it by a score of 7-4. Post game after the game, and then after that, it's a new episode of Rockies Weekly after the post game. You're going to get to meet Keith Duggar, the head athletic trainer. He has had a busy year, so we got Doogie on. You'll hear the guys talking about their Little League days. Yeah, they're going to think way back to Little League, and highlights from the KC and Miami series happening this week. So Rockies Weekly coming up after the post game today. Braden Greiser and Allison Harder doing some great editing work on that. Should be a fun show. We're also going to relive last Sunday too with Todd and Cuddy and the walk-off. That was a lot of fun. And since we're a Monday to Saturday show, we thought we'd show a little bit more of that. Hey, Little League. Drew, what was the name of your Little League? And we already saw you played for the Kiwanis, Frage?
Yes.
What was the Little League name, though?
We were the downtown Kiwanis. Everybody was the Kiwanis.
From what town?
Springfield, Missouri, yeah.
What about you, Drew?
Bedford Pound Ridge Little League, 2 towns. Bedford, New York, Pound Ridge, New York.
Your teams were?
The Pound Ridge Roadrunners.
And it wasn't because of his speed.
And we wore purple.
I played for Sunnybury Little League out of Yardville, New Jersey, near Trenton. I was on Lou's Thriftway. That it was Maury Pirelli Insurance, and then Babe Ruth. I always got to say this: Mercerville Fire. You light them, we fight them. That's how we answer the phone and call the pen.
Boone Logan's out there. Thanks, Mark. Ed Lucas is pinch hitting for Garrett Jones. Casio went 2/3 of an inning, strikeout, nothing else across, and that's a base hit for Lucas, his first as a pinch hitter. And Walt's going to go to his right-handed late inning man, Adam Ottavino. We'll take a break. Rockies up 7-4 at the top of the 8th.
Ottavino, and last night this bullpen was somewhat special after having what has been a difficult year at times. Rex Brothers got it going, but the strikeout that ended any threat the Marlins had. Finished up with a very fine inning by Nicasio. Then they handed over to Mr. Brown, who did a very good job in coming in. 7 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run, 0 walks, 10 strikeouts last night. Overall numbers now for Adam Ottavino: 63rd appearance, 55 2/3 innings, 62 strikeouts, just 15 walks. As he works here in the 8th with nobody out and 1 runner on.
Echeverria 2 triples today, 3 at bats. That's a strike.
Yeah, well, good luck with these shadows right now. He's 12 for 29 in his career versus the Rockies. Hard to pick up the hard slider when you got both hitter and pitcher in the shadows, and then you have the wide open sunshine in between the two of you.
To third, nice pickup, Nolan. There's one. How about that double play? A glove salute from Adam Ottavino.
Great to have the ability to be able to strike out a ton, but it's also nice to throw a pitch and get 2 outs as a result of it. That's what happened here. Nolan on the backhand, off balance throw, and a strike to DJ LeMahieu, who came across the back to the bag to avoid contact from Lucas, and then on to first base for the double play. Nicely done, Nolan. Nicely done, DJ. Nicely done, Adam Ottavino.
Mathis with a base hit to center. Reed Johnson's going to pinch hit. Slider for a strike. Toward the hole. Knocked down by Arenado to first. Out at first base.
That's why he's got
argument
gold on
from
that
Reed
glove.
Johnson. Yep. He jogs off. And the Rockies get out of any situation there behind Adam Ottavino, and great glove work from Nolan Arenado. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies up 7-4. in front of a crowd of more than 40,000 today. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Stubbs, Arenado, and Dickerson against A.J. Ramos. 54th appearance for Ramos. The league hitting just 161 against him. Ramos pitched an inning on Friday night. Gave up a hit and had a strikeout. He pitched the 7th inning. Struck out Stubbs. Gave up a double to Arenado. We'll see both those guys here this inning. Stubbs 2 for 4, single and a double. Also an RBI for Drew. His 39th ribby of the year. And Stubbs hits it hard at Echeverria. You're not going to get it. That'll be another hit for Drew.
Yeah, I don't even know how Echeverria even caught the ball. This ball is smoked right at him, and he gets a hold of it. And I mean, he has fired a bullet there, but Stubbs
did a great
hustling
job
the whole way. Yeah, he did. Talk about staying with a play.
Arenado, 2-run homer in the first, singled in the third, hit by a pitch in the 5th. It went off the end of the bat back at Brad Penny in the 6th. Ed Lucas, who stayed in the game, by the way, at first base. This is playable for the second baseman Solano, and he makes the catch at foul ground, so Arenado's retired.
Be at Coors Field when the Giants come to town Labor Day through September the 3rd. Don't miss some of the bonus baseball on September the 1st when the Rockies resume the suspended game from May with a 2-2 score at 2:10 p.m. Get your tickets today for that. What do you want to call it? Split or whatever you want to call it. 2 games on Monday. I know that.
Game and a half.
Game and a half.
Game and a third. Corey Dickerson's up. Corey, a base hit to left, his last time up. He's 1 for 4. So Dickerson last night tied the game in the 9th with a home run and then won it in the 13th with a base hit. There's only been one other guy in the history of the Rockies to have a game-tying 9th inning home run and then later on in extra frames produce the game-winning hit. And he's still playing. He's had a pretty good career. His name is Matt Holliday. Matt did it 2008. Another list now Dickerson is on. Runner going, and Stubbs is out.
It's the 3rd time all year that he's been called out, and while attempting to steal a base.
Jeff Mathis got him.
Very good release, very accurate arm, and a pick at second. The pick's what got it. Echeverria got the pick out of the dirt and tagged before he did get to the bag. A good call.
One on Dickerson. Stubbs now 16 of 19 stealing bases. Had a steal of 3rd earlier in the ball game. Troy Hawkins up, getting ready for the 9th inning. Well, they had originally given, you know what? They just changed some. I just wrote down base hit. They'd originally given Stubbs ball and error on Echeverria, and they just changed it to a hit, which is the right call, I believe. 13 hits now for the Rockies. Ball's a bullet. Oh, it's 14 hits, I should say now. They hadn't updated the scoreboard in center field, left center field. So 7 runs, 14 hits for the Rockies, 4 runs, 11 hits for the Marlins. Marlins just started a lengthy road trip. They will go to Anaheim after the ball game. And then after a day off, they'll be in Atlanta, Georgia. Be a big series for them.
Well, they're Tampa, Seattle, tough travel spots. It's obvious what you're talking about, where they're headed right now.
3-2 on Dickerson against A.J. Ramos. And Ramos strikes out Dickerson to end the 8th. So we'll go to the 9th inning. Rockies looking for 3 more outs as they lead 7-4. Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. And by StubHub, fans want to be here in person next time your Rockies take the field. Just head to StubHub and choose your seats. It's been a gorgeous Sunday afternoon in front of 40,500 and change. The Rockies leading in the 9th inning 7-4. LaTroy Hawkins is aboard, and so is Jenny Kapnar. Jenny?
Hey, Drew, coming up on the Toyota post-game show right after baseball, we'll be talking enter Bergman, Christian Bergman, off the disabled list today. He's in line for a victory in his first start since mid-June. Pretty good there. And then Nolan's home cooking. It's been a great homestand for Nolan Arenado. 3 home runs for him here at Coors Field this homestand. And orange on the horizon. We're not talking about the Denver Broncos season. We're talking about the San Francisco Giants. The Rockies will play them 7 of their next 10 games. We'll have a preview of their upcoming road trip right after the game, guys.
Jenny, thank you. Are you going on that trip, Jenny?
I'll see ya on the plane.
All right, sounds good. LaTroy Hawkins is on for the 46th time. Georgie's 19 out of 20. As you see in that third category, saves in save opportunities. That 95% save percentage is best in the National League.
It is the best in the National League with this ball club. Standing where it is, 51 and 77, trying to get win 52 today, and they've handed it over to LaTroy in pretty good hands.
Top of the order, Christian Yelich. 2 hits today for Yelich. And Yelich lines one, a catch by Rutledge.
Well, have a day. By the way, Rat. You gotta love it. Position to defense, and then you get a slicing line drive, 1-step, 2-step dive, and come up with a first out here in the 9th. Very nicely done on a Mike Shaw Subaru Super Mode.
So Donovan Solano with his first at bat since entering the game 2 innings ago for Jeff Baker. Takes a strike, it's 0-1. Fans follow at Root Sports _RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score, as they've done today, 7 or more. Line drive. Everybody flashing leather. Matt McBride making that play. 2 outs in the 9th.
Again, you got to just be able to react to the baseball when it's hit. That's exactly what happens. 2 hard hit balls right at him. You got 2 outs in the 9th. 1 to go to close out this win over the Miami Marlins.
Stanton at the plate. Takes ball 1. Time for our CenturyLink link to what's next. Here's the pitching matchups for the 4-game set at AT&T Park coming up. Matzik, Jake Peavy tomorrow. De La Rosa, Bumgarner. That's a great one on Tuesday. Franklin Morales draws Tim Hudson Wednesday. Jordan Lyles, Tim Lincecum on Thursday. Thursday we will not be televising as it's a day game from San Francisco. The Rockies will continue on to Phoenix. Stanton 1 for 3 and a walk today. That's out of play. Rockies get a victory here, and they're 1 out away with a 3-run lead. They'll have a 6-3 homestand. A reminder that if your windshield's damaged in any way, call Safelight at 303-287-5000 to schedule an appointment. You can find them online at safelight.com. Swung on and missed. Hawkins fans Stanton, and the Rockies win it 7-4 this afternoon. Save number 20 for Hawkins. It's another 1-2-3 9th inning for LaTroy. And the Rockies take 2 of 3 from the Marlins at Coors Field for the first time since 2011 and derail their postseason hopes for a day or 2. Bergman, Christian Bergman gets the victory, his first major league W. And Brad Hand takes the loss. He falls to 2-6. Hugs and congrats all the way around as the Rockies finish off a 6-3 homestand. Our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast delivery of the game. Nolan Arenado not only his work today, just the whole series. 8 for 14. He was on base at every turn, and he hit the 2-run home run to get the Rockies going this afternoon. The Rockies go on to win 7-4 today. And that's our Jimmy John's Freaky Fast delivery of the game. Again, Christian Bergman with his first major league victory as we go to center field. Jenny Kavnar and Jason Hirsch.
And Jeff Houston. No better way to hit the road running than with a victory. That's what the Rockies did today. They win the series 6-3 on the homestand. Plenty to talk about, and it's all coming up on the Toyota Postgame Show.